Recently, we took our 2025 Ioniq 5 SEL rear-wheel drive with stock wheels and tires and drove from Chicago to Canada. So I just wanted to make another quick little video with screenshots of the dash and the charging equipment, just to give you a little bit of information about how driving a moderately long distance drive works in an electric car, and specifically the Ioniq 5. Our first picture is the beginning of our journey from our house in Chicago, 1,660 miles, and we ended up driving just about 89 miles for our first stop. We went to Warren Dunes State Park, and I'm going to have a little video clip here for you in a second from that park, but it just took us an hour and 40 minutes. Our average speed was 54 miles per hour. There was a lot of traffic, construction work that slowed us down. And the fortunate thing in an electric vehicle, generally the slower the speed you go, at least on a highway to a point, the slower the speed you go, the higher your average miles per kilowatt hour. And here it was 3.8 miles per kilowatt hour. Now a little clip from Warren Dunes State Park. We are at Warren Dunes, and there's a gentle breeze. Not too many people. Plenty of seagulls. If you want to play with seagulls, it's a good place to come to. And the coastline goes all the way up and down. This is looking north. And of course, there's a humongous parking lot, which is practically empty. So just a beautiful stop on our trip. Maybe hang out here for 10 or 15 minutes just because we can, and it's really beautiful and the temperature is just about perfect. So that's Warren Dunes State Park in Michigan. The next stop on our trip is a charging stop. So this is in Kalamazoo, Michigan, at the Electrify America there. And I plugged in my car and started with the app on my phone, and I still have, at least at this point, I still had a few days left on my 2-year Electrify America free, because I 2 years ago bought an Ioniq 6, and I just used the app and it charged me for free. So yay, one more free charge at Electrify America, and the total miles here is 153. This is not from Warren Dunes. This is from the home base. So to Warren Dunes and then to Kalamazoo, Michigan, 153 miles. Total efficiency 3.7. Temperature's getting a little warm in the day here, now 86 degrees, but still a fantastic efficiency number. And we charged here. You can see the charger here. This is classic Electrify America. And we only charged for 5 minutes. To be honest, this stop was not necessary at all. The next place we have scheduled to stop is in Lansing, Michigan. We're going to go to that next. And we get to Lansing, Michigan after 74 miles from Kalamazoo. So the 153 and the 74 miles here, all combined, we could have done in one go. So the previous 5-minute stop was not necessary at all, but we wanted to get a nice free charge. So we plugged in here at 45% state of charge and went all the way up to 91. My thought here was to charge so high that I can continue our trip to Canada, over the bridge to the city of Sarnia, right over the border of Canada, and then be able to drive all the way back to Lansing, because it is about 120 miles from Lansing to where we're going in Canada, and 120 miles back, which would be theoretically 240 miles. So we stayed here way longer than we needed to. You can see 91% state of charge, and the idea was that if we do 91, we can use 45% to go there and 45% to come back, and maybe not have to stop any more until we get back to Lansing. However, we decided to then stop at the Canadian border because
the charge had already gone down to 48%. The big problem, you call it a problem, from Lansing to the Canadian border, north of Detroit, the interstate there is marked at 75 miles per hour, and our average speed was 67 with a little bit of traffic on both ends, but really high speeds, and the wind had picked up. So we thought, just to be super safe, we stopped here at a Pilot Flying J right next to the border of Canada and stopped and charged there. Our total charging time there was 9 minutes. In those 9 minutes, we went from, 48 to 84%. This is a picture before we stopped. We were there for a total of 9, maybe 10 minutes, but that was all. And then we went over the border, and that took us quite a bit of time. It was over an hour to go about 8.5 miles. So 65 minutes to go 8.5 miles. The average driving speed was 8 miles an hour. And I can now attest, I have found a speed that is so low that you actually get lower performance, lower miles per kilowatt hour, at least when it's 89 degrees and you're using the air conditioning. So normally the slower you go, the better your efficiency is. But when you're going 8 miles an hour, you're just sitting there. The car is running using electricity, keeping us nice and cool, and we're not moving forward. And the reason we went to Canada was to go to BajaCon. It's a little conference in Sarnia, Canada, held every year. Atheists, skeptics, humanists, agnostics. Absolutely fantastic time. Highly recommend it to anybody and everybody. If you can go in 2026, go check it out. Just Google BajaCon Sarnia 2026. You'll get there. We started our trip back the next day, and this is at the security checkpoint for the USA. And again, here we've gone 11 miles in an hour and a half. So really slow speeds here. And again, the range or the efficiency is 2.4 miles per kilowatt hour. When we get to Lansing, you can see here that we've gone the 123 miles in total from Sarnia to Lansing. And we are now down to 24% state of charge. So I don't think we could have made it from Lansing to Canada back to Lansing without stopping to charge, at least not in this car. The efficiency was low enough, and you can see here the efficiency is 2.7. Earlier, our drive to Canada was 3.0, and earlier in the start of the trip, we had 3.5 and 3.7. This is lower for a couple of reasons. One, the hour that we sat going nowhere, and the speed of this trip, the posted speed limit is 75 miles per hour. We averaged 55 miles per hour, which was a lot of 70, plus that hour just sitting there doing nothing on top of the 2 hours that this took. So this is, again, our stop at Lansing, and we got there, like I said, at 24% state of charge, and we left with 76% state of charge. A 17-minute stop. Everything worked as one would expect. Not bad at all. And our trip back, we stopped at Kalamazoo, and this probably wasn't really a necessary stop, and I first thought we would charge here for 4 or 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes at max, but it's at a giant Meijer, and we ended up going into Meijer and using the restroom way in the back. This is a huge Meijer, and did a little shopping, a little looking for, walked around, and time got away from us, and we got outside, and there's the starting of the charge, and here's 14 minutes into the charge, but we ended up staying there until we were at 94%. Totally unnecessary, totally not recommended. We were not in a hurry. The weather was warm but very nice, and I figured this is my absolutely last free charge where I've tricked Electrify America to charging my Ioniq 5, even though the original deal was for the Ioniq 6 for 2 years. So we hung out and charged all the way up to 94%. There was nobody else there. If there were other cars, we would have left far longer. So we were here for 38 minutes. And of course, this is the last reading from our drive from from Kalamazoo, Michigan, to our house in the Chicago suburbs, 115 miles, 3 hours of driving. Now, this was a personal choice. We decided to go off the interstate because there were multiple traffic accidents, and this added probably 25 minutes, but it was a much more calmer drive, not packed in traffic on the interstate, just driving through on Route 30 in northwest Indiana. And here are some of the totals. 707 miles. We had an average miles per kilowatt of 3.3. The temperature ranged from 80 to almost 90 for the vast majority of our trip. The average time of each leg of the trip was 2 hours and 46 minutes, which is exaggerated dramatically by an hour delay to get to Canada and an hour delay to get back from Canada. Our average speed was 56.4. Again, a little bit distorted because sitting in traffic for an hour. Our total charge time was 91 minutes with 5 stops. Could have easily been done with 4 stops. I don't know if you could squeak this out in 3 stops. You could do 2 on the way there, 350 miles, 2 quick ones on the way back, 50 miles. My guess is for route optimization, instead of 91 minutes, we could have done it in around 54 minutes, but we weren't in any hurry. Our actual average time per stop charging was 18 minutes. And again, the long charges had nothing to do with the equipment, had nothing to do with the car. It had to do with us being humans and wanting to go into the shop or go into the service station or the convenience store to use the restroom and maybe get a snack or a drink. I like having some extra caffeine when I'm driving. So, buying a few things from the store and then getting back out to the car. So another realistic, not super planned out and detailed, but we just got in the car, drove. My wife installed PlugShare and looked at that and filtered for stations along our route that had multiple chargers, really high-speed chargers, and good ratings. And it all worked out. Hopefully this helps you understand how to drive an EV car and how easy it is to charge and travel longer distances.